Hello, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, whatever your time zone. It's it's a beautiful Saturday. It's 7 p.m. here in Finland. It has been a wonderful day, and I hope you all had a wonderful weekend and you are still enjoying the weekend. Like those in the US, it's quite early in some areas. It's midday in other places. It's night already in Finland. It's evening, and it just depends on your time zone. Thank you for joining us today in this edition of Healing Storehouse Unlocking Soul Gate series. And today we'll be talking about dealing with worries. It's an awesome topic. Dealing with worries. I believe there is nobody here that has never encountered being distressed in one way or the other. But the issue is not being worried. The issue is how do you deal with it? Because every single moment in life, we have things that we worry about. We have things we need to do, and it disturbs us emotionally, psychologically. We are stressed about those things. We worry about the present. We worry about the past. Our past event, we worry about the future. It's obvious that we worry about many things in life, but the issue is how do we deal with it? Because if you don't understand how to deal with it, it's gonna crop to another level of another issue. And if you don't handle it, that's how it will just be piling up, piling up, piling up, and it becomes a real problem. Many people are depressed today. It started just being stressed and worried. And because they didn't know how to handle it, they ended up being depressed. You know, other illnesses can crop from it. So it's very important to understand how to deal with worries. And today we have awesome speakers. I'm excited even before this program because I know it's gonna be mind blowing. It will be mind blowing today. Stay tuned. Share this broadcast. Just share. You will be blessed. You will really enjoy it. I have two powerful queens. I love them. Oh my goodness. I love them. When they just stay tuned. Don't go out. Share it. Share. You will bless someone and you yourself will be empowered today. Because the ladies I'm introducing today, they are in short, we have Russell. She's a leadership coach. My goodness. If you follow her on LinkedIn or Facebook, you will be empowered because we are born leaders. We are born leaders, but we need a circle. We need empowerment. We need something to pull that leadership in us so that we flourish in whatever we are doing, even in your small business, even at home, you're a leader. In the church, you're a leader. So it's a skill that everybody needs, even at work. We are leaders in different domains. And we also have one amazing queen, Danielle. I love her so much. These two queens are beautiful inside out. I love them. She's a business coach, especially those with marketing issues, how to market your products and many things. She's this in short, she's everything. I don't want to speak much on that. I will just bring them in, then they will introduce themselves, then we flow. I will encourage each one of us to share it, share in groups, share in your platforms, share on your timeline, and you'll be empowered. Stay tuned as I invite these beautiful queens on board. Wow. Oh my goodness. I am excited. I am indeed excited. I am excited. Wow. I will just give the floor to Queen Russell just to introduce herself. And after that, our darling Queen Danielle will be introducing herself. Thank you for joining us today on Healing Storehouse. Thank
Oh,
you.
Marie, you're so sweet, and that intro is just full of so much enthusiasm, love, and a lot of power in what you're saying. And thank you for having me. My name's Rassi. I'm a leadership coach and author of Leading Your Truth. I help business and corporate leaders lead their teams more effectively through self leadership. So I'm very adamant on helping leaders walk the talk. So there's a lot of, we have many leaders that talk the walk and they need to close that gap of walking the talk and then talk the walk. It's more effective that way. And also my book on called Leading Your Truth is on authentic leadership. It's me helping more leaders to lead more in who they are and who they're becoming. And Marie, thank you for having me.
Wow. Amazing. Amazing to have you on this platform today, Russell. I'm really excited. And I will just go straight to another coach. She's also an author. Wow. Three of us are authors. I'm going to share the link to access our books from Amazon. I'll just give the floor to Coach Daniel. Just
Yeah.
introduce herself, then we'll go.
Oh, thank you, Coach Marie, for having me on this wonderful platform. As Rasi said, I'm so much. I mean, I love the energy you're putting in, and it's always a pleasure to be to be here with Coach Rasi and you, Coach Rasi. She's someone I know since, and she's really been impacting my life. Marie, you have been impacting my life, and we have had some series of discussions, and I would say you both have contributed highly to what who I am today, to my progress and my growth, both in personal in my personal life and in my business. So I am the owner and CEO. I'm the founder, sorry, the founder and CEO of D Dreams, digital dreams, and I'm also an author. So what we do, we help innovative solution providers. We help coaches and entrepreneurs to build their brands powerfully online, to stand out as authorities in their niche, and also to drive more sales via social media. Also as an author, I'm the author of a book entitled "Becoming Your Dream Self: 7 Keys to Own and Control Your Life as a Millennial." So it's really wonderful, and I'm just so impatient to, I mean, to get into the conversation, sharing about how to deal with worries, because I have dealt with worries, and we have all dealt with worries, and it's always very challenging. At times, we need to go through certain challenges to eventually accomplish or become what we've always wanted to be. So it's an honor for me to be here with you. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much, Coach Daniela. Thank you so much, Coach Russell. You all are welcome to this wonderful program today about dealing with worries. It's a series relating to the book I published December 2021, Healing Storehouse Unlocking Soul Good. Dealing with worries was one of those strategies, one of those topics that I focused in that book. But this particular series, it enables me to for people in my platform to understand in depth variations in people's ideology, variations in the different concepts concerning what I wrote, so that those who have handled my book, they will get my concept, and if new concept comes in, they may add value onto what I read already dish out in my book. So that's why I came up with this Healing Storehouse Unlocking Soul Gate series. Their goal is for empowerment, just to empower people out there with the knowledge each and everyone will be contributing. It's just for the benefit for people to be empowered in the areas they are struggling in life. Because my book purposely is to empower people struggling in different phases in life. So thank you once more for this also program. I will just give the floor. You're gonna be sharing your life experiences, so it will just flow as it is, not going through a protocol, but let it flow deep inside of us, because you three of us are coaches and authors, and also we have experiences, and we have coached people in different domains. So with that, it helps us to build that portfolio that will help empower those struggling in those areas. So thank you once more. I just want, the first thing I will ask is, How do we deal with struggles? How do you deal? How, from your experiences, how have you been able to deal with struggles? Because with worries, all of us experience worries in one way or the other, as I introduced at the beginning of this session. And how to deal with it is the most technical aspect. So I will hand the floor to Russell just to give us an input of that, then followed by Coach Daniel. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah,
Yes.
for sure, Marie. Like you said, like everyone has their own struggles, and we figure out ways that we can go through it. I can speak to, like where I'm at with my journey, either as an entrepreneur, as a leader, as an author. It's the way that you see it. Like I see it as struggle as an opportunity to grow, and I know that has shifted a lot of things for me, in terms of how I go about challenges, or worries like coming up, and knowing, okay, that if I when I worry about this, it's going to open doors to this kind of energy. When I silence that worry, and when I go back to building on my foundation and really grounding myself, this is what is possible for me. So it's all about like that mindset, like stretching my mind, exposing myself to other people's stories, and also like through helping my clients, through my coaching program, has really helped me see other perspective and other ways that people handle worries, and where they're at, and how I can influence that and coach them through with what I've experienced in my life. And something that usually comes up for me in terms of worrying is it opens up doors to other things like anxiety, panic attacks, right? And understanding like, okay, this is what it could lead to. Let me do these different practices daily to keep grounding myself. So an example would be meditation, like doing it ahead of time and being proactive, and meditating, because I know it calms my worries. It keeps me in that present moment, and not worrying about what has already happened or what's about to happen. And Marie, I definitely want to add that it's really awesome that you have a concept around worrying in your book. Like that's absolutely powerful, because I think a lot of people that are stuck in worrying and not know, like, how do I pivot? How do I move from this? Like, how do I deal with it? They always can reach out, to resources like your book, and listening to our conversation today, to really figure out like how are they going to own up to that space that they're in, and how do they move forward. Oh, Marie, we can't hear you.
Sorry about that. Thank you so much, Coach Russell. Thank you for that awesome input. It's really awesome, especially the tips you said about meditation, knowledge, reading books, and all those kind of things. They are very helpful. They are really, really helpful. I, for one, personally, my book was more about my personal experience and those have coached and those around me. So it's a lifetime experience. And from what you just said, it's absolutely right because when you're focusing on the present, you're meditating, you're increasing knowledge. All of them helps build the confidence inside of you, builds your true self, makes you
Mhm,
become the real person inside of you. And
mhm.
thank you for that awesome contribution. I will just go straight to Daniela. How do you stop worrying and develop confidence from within? How can you manage that? You are a business coach and you have many many business. Many business people fall victim of
Oh
stress
my God.
and all those kind of things. So
Yeah, that's really real. Worries and struggles that are real, and we all are confronted with worries, and this can bring It can be because of what we are going through or our past experiences. As a matter of fact, people do worry because they fear to fail, fear of being unloved or unwanted, fear of being unaccepted or not being good enough. So I think the first thing, in fact, one thing we have to know is that fear. I mean, people deal a lot with worries,
Mhm.
and it can be real or imaginary. And this, you have to think about the consequences of it. Like unnecessary stress can cause it can lead to lack of focus as far as this as if you're into a business, as me, it makes me to it used to actually make me to lack that focus and have that poor self-care. Like I don't take care of myself. And I also think about another. I read from a blog. Like I read on a blog that there's people are actually experiencing a shorter lifespan because of stress. The main cause of death, especially among millennials like myself, is stress. Meaning, stress is something, or worry, yeah, and because stress is being generated from being worried. That means it's something that we need to really lay emphasis on, and we need to learn how to handle it. If you notice, it really drains your energy, and it make you to spend unnecessary time, reflecting over it, and not being able to do something very productive. As far as I'm concerned, I've really dealt with stress, and I've dealt with worry, and it made me to feel so stressed, feeling having this tension,
Mhm.
and 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 it became like this voice. I think Raisi, she mentioned something like a voice in your head that will not actually let you go away. So it's quite important for you to learn how to manage that. And one thing I always do, like as a human, and is, at times it's really not very possible. You cannot always avoid stress or avoid being worried. At times we are worried because of the client's work that we have not been able to submit, because of other things that are piling up or coming up. So, but the great news is, what one thing I always say: there's a way to manage those worries so that they don't actually bog you down or drain your energy. And I mean, people do have different ways of managing stress, and like some people do meditate. As for me, I always make sure that when I'm too worried, I take time, I meditate, I spend, I really get calm, like I calm myself. And one thing that have also helped me so much was, as a believer, I read certain Bible verses that will always bring me that confidence that I should not worry, or I shouldn't be worried, because even the word of God, like it is written 365 times in the Bible that do not fear. It's like do not worry. So I know that despite everything that is going on, if whether I'm worried or not, it will not change anything. So the only thing I have to do is to trust God and stay calm and to meditate. I've also practiced meditating, which is a very we use it, has been very helpful. It has been very helpful. So people do have different ways of managing stress, but at time when I'm too worried or stressed, what I do is I just take some time, I relax, I do meditate, and I meditate over some verses, like Bible verses that will actually bring me that confidence that I shouldn't worry, because despite what I do, it will not change what I'm going through. But I have a God that cares about me more than I do. So that's my advice for everybody going through challenging or tough moment. It will always be there, but there are things we cannot change, and we just need to learn how to control it and calm down and know that. I mean, such is life. There are things we cannot change. Such is life. So yeah, that's it. Like,
I definitely want to add to that, Danielle. You made some really great points, and something that really stood out to me is that fear. I think it amplifies it, like whatever like that worry situation you're in, and then it
Mm-hmm.
got me thinking. Like, let me share the story. There was a moment when I was managing at McDonald's, and the
Mm-hmm.
store I was like running at the time, we converted to 24 hours. So this when excuse me, sorry. When we went from being open from open to midnight, from 5 a.m. to midnight, and we switched to 24-hour days, right? And so this is mean for me as a manager, my phone could go off at 2 a.m., it could go off at 3 a.m. So as a result of that interruption with my sleep, I wasn't sleeping well, I wasn't eating well, and I was worried about, like, I had fear of not delivering on results. I had fear of not being my best self in leading my teams because I wasn't at my best self. Like, I wasn't sleeping or eating properly. And this amplified like other things to happen as a result, which was anxiety. And I remember actually going to the doctor because I'd never been familiar with that anxiety. And it's like I have this feeling that just comes all over, and I'm not in control, and my nerves are shaky, and I'm just thinking what the worst that could possibly happen. And went to the doctor, and first of all, I was drinking way too much coffee, so I had to calm down on how much caffeine I was intaking. And I remember him giving me some exercises to do, and it was like breathing into like a bag, in and out, and a lot of breath work. And this is when I started to read about like meditation or things that can help me calm my anxiety. And I just want to reiterate that fear does amplify that. And while you were sharing, Danielle, I wrote down some things that I do to help ground me, and I think it'll be very beneficial to everyone that's listening right now. If you're in a space where you're very worried about what is to happen or what couldn't happen or what has already happened, and these are some things that you don't have any control over. These are
Yeah.
stuff that works for me. Cold showers like really helps stable like my breathing. It stables like my heart rate. It just brings me back to zero. And try it for like 5 seconds, then 10 seconds, and increase from there. And putting your feet flat on the ground, it really just brings you, it grounds you. You feel at ease, you feel, and it's something about that you're barefoot on the ground. It's just, you feel closer to earth, you feel belonging. Fresh air, getting outside and just inhaling and, exhaling in fresh air. Self-affirmations. This is something that helped me a lot, especially through my grief journey, because a lot of doubts come up when and in terms of worrying, and just saying these self-affirmations out loud to myself. Like, even before I go on a live interview, I say self-affirmations to myself in front of the mirror, just to get me super confident and super excited, and just elevates my energy. And other things like loose hands. So if you find that you're gripping your hands, just let it go. Just loosen it, let it fall. Let go of your belly. We tend to kind of pull in our belly. Just let it fall. And then rolling your shoulders back and forth. I hope that helps.
Yeah.
Oh, Marie,
Wow,
you're
very powerful tips. I'm taking note of all those great tips.
oh, I'm glad.
Wow,
Oh, that's awesome.
those were really great tips
Yeah, thank
that
you.
empowers us, build our confidence, make us swift from being afraid, because fear is the greatest tool that brings comes up with worries and all those kind of things. Fear of the present, fear of the unknown, all those things. Wow, thank you, thank
Yeah.
you,
It's much
Yeah, I
coaching.
needed.
also wanted to, before you get, I also wanted to emphasize on something that she mentioned, like self-affirmation.
Mm,
Wow, those are very powerful tips, you know, like I mean it has really helped me, and in one way or the other I started seeing those things I was affirming, like I was saying it out as if it was coming
mm,
to reality. You know, just like if you are a Christian, like you say what God says about you, you don't want to look at what is happening around you, or what is going on. You just want to say those same word that God said you are, and it has really been helpful. Like it makes me have more confidence, and you know that's just a very important point to to lay
Yeah.
emphasis on. Thank you.
wow, that's so true. Myself, what I will add is like gratitude, you know.
Mm.
When I become worried, sometimes it's stressful as a mother, having other kind of engagement, your coaching, business, other things as a family also. It may be overwhelming sometimes. You have your programs, and us mothers, it's not easy to manage everything, but sometimes I don't look at the problem. I become grateful for even being alive, grateful. I just start focusing on the good things in my life.
Yeah.
And that easily sweeps me from that mood of fear, being afraid, from that mood of anxiety, being anxious of some kind of things, and sweep me to joy. And the mood just immediately changes. And I, for one, I also love music a lot, worshiping. I love that. So it really it transforms my inner self because it brings the true self inside of me. I like listening to worship songs. I like dancing. So when I realize I'm really that kind of in a stressful mood, I can just tune to a worship song I love, and immediately the atmosphere changes. Or I go for a walk, especially when I'm going with the kids outside, just looking at nature, the beauty of it, it just changes my mood immediately. So distracting yourself from that issue, that problem, immediately can change your mood. Or having just a phone call with, I know of people who encourages me a lot. So when I'm getting that low spirit, worried about something, I can just call and an advice from someone will just like change my mood. So actually, I just wanted to add those few there. We are still going into in depth of those tools, but it just dropped in my mind. I said, let me just add it to these great portions these coaches are giving out here. It takes me to one thing I wrote also in my book. We have been talking about meditation. Can we throw three of us have spoken about meditation as a means of helping us overcome worries, deal with worries. Can we throw a little bit of light on some people they've never meditated, they don't know what is meditation, they don't know the various types because there are different types. So I will just go straight to Daniel. Can you throw a little bit of light on that? Then Russell also can throw light on meditation so that people who are not yet engaging in it they can understand when people talk of meditation because you may just be talking meditation, people may interpret it differently. They will not understand. And that is one of the backbone for me that helps me in managing and dealing with worries. So Daniel,
Yeah.
Coach Daniel, can you just
That's a
meditation?
quite a little bit tricky question. Not really tricky, but um, you know, people do have different ways of defining. I mean, understanding for the meditation about meditation.
Mm,
And when I mean meditation,
mm,
there are various techniques. Yeah, there are various techniques. I know of the meditation where it's an exercise. It's like an exercise where you cover your you cover your eyes, and you know, and there are some experts that are actually good at that, helping people to relax, cover your eyes, and you know, forgetting about everything around you and just focusing on yourself or focusing on those things you want to see become reality in your life. And those that's another form of meditation. Now there's a different form of meditation where you actually meditate with the word of God. Like it's like you identify a verse in the Bible and you speak, like you declare, like you read it as if it was real, like you speak it out
Mm,
as if, let's say a verse that says like Isaiah 40 verse
mm,
31 that
mm.
says, those who wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength, they shall
Right.
mount up with wings as eagles, they shall walk and not faint, or
Yeah.
they shall run and not be weary, they shall run and not be weary. That's like, if you want to meditate, for example, with that verse, you just say it as if it was you. Like you try and to personalize it, like those who wait, I wait upon the Lord, and I am not worried. I mount up with wings as eagle. I run and I don't fall. I run and I'm not worried. So you, I mean, you take it as if you take it and personalize it and say it out as if like with the objective of seeing it. And when you say, you not just say it out, but you begin to visualize it happening. You see yourself mounting up with wings as eagle, walking, running, and not being tired. So this is another form of meditation which is very powerful, and that can also help you gain more confidence and stand firm despite the circumstances around you or the situation you're going through. I'm not an expert in as far as meditating the first way, the first way I actually define is. But as far as what I practice most, it's meditating with the Word of God. But I've also tried the technique of meditating, covering your eyes, and it's really relaxing. And I know Rancy, she can really she can explain that better, you know.
Yeah, I definitely love the part meditating with our eyes closed for sure. It's uh
Yeah.
it's that breathing, right? Like that
Yeah.
pause and you're breathing and you're in that present moment with compassion and no judgment whatsoever. You're like, I'm here right now. I am me. I love me. And I'm just going to be right here for a moment. And something that I've experienced is that 60 seconds is so effective. You know, put it on a timer, 1 minute, and you just breathe. Like you just breathe as you feel, as your body wants to. And as I'm even saying that right now, it's like giving me some calmness. And there's another meditation that practice. I didn't know the name was visualization meditation. I learned this from Jay Shetty's book, Think Like a Monk, and he actually, something that stood out to me actually like recently on one of his podcasts is he's like, you can meditate anywhere. And I was like, oh my goodness, yes, this is awesome. Like I can literally meditate even if I'm walking down the street and I just stop for a moment and just breathe. Like it's not necessarily you have to close your eyes and be in a certain environment, a certain setting, but you can do it anywhere. And when I heard that, it really empowered me to do it anywhere, wherever. And what amazes me is when our focus, like it really helps improve our focus. Like Danielle mentioned that earlier. And it's that stillness. And I've meditated in some parts where there are people talking and there are people around me, and I just close my eyes for a moment just to ground myself because I feel sort of unstable, but yeah, so let me talk a bit about visualization meditation, like how I use that and how I practice that. So like I grew up in Sierra Leone during the Civil War, and there's like I was about 8 years old. That's like in my memory of when the war started, stuff. And I found out that every time I went to therapy for another trauma that happened in my life, that always came up, the war. And so when I realized, like, oh my gosh, I can do a visualization meditation and just take myself back to those memories, and unlock the memories that were blocked. And some of it is to protect me from, breaking down, or protect me from shock. And I remember the first meditation is like, I'll take myself back to a specific incident, specific situation, and my mind will now let me enter a certain space. And and then every time I go to meditate through like a different incident that happened, I still will not get through. I'll just get to a certain point and it was just blocked. So I remember actually asking, excuse me, my parents and my siblings about, to tell me more details of what happened on those specific days, because obviously my mind is protecting me from something. And I discovered that it was every time I saw, a dead body, or it was like gunshots were happening like rapidly, from a distance. And my body was protecting me from this. But the moment I discovered that, I just felt stronger, because now I can actually come back and heal that, and really ground myself, because the more I heal of what has happened in the past, I feel more empowered. I feel more grounded, and I know I can do anything, and I know that I can help more people in doing this for myself. And that's my experience. Oh, Marie, you're on mute.
Yeah, thank you. Wow, my daughter just wake up, so
Oh, that's beautiful.
so she's joining us,
Yes. Hello,
hopefully.
daughter.
Yeah, so they will just flow. Like one thing I wanted to ask is like, especially how do we prepare our mind to prevent those negative thoughts? Because before we become stressed out, because before we are worried about things, there are those negative thoughts that crops from inside of us. How can it be prevented? Thank you.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm not sure if Danielle, you wanted to speak to that. Okay. Well, I'll share. So this is something that I help each of my clients with, is that self-talk. And I believe and know that how we talk to ourselves translate into how we speak to others. So in terms of, letting go of those negative thoughts, it's that conversation that we have with ourselves. So for example, I had a client that was always hard on themselves, like when things will go wrong, when they don't reach a result, when they miss a bonus, or someone leaves their team. They come back and they question all the great things that they've done, all the actions that led up to that point. And I think there's so much power in that. And the more they spoke negatively to themselves, they saw negativity in their day to day. And once they flip that, and, having that conversation with yourself, with compassion, with love, with care, and, and that taking care of yourself first, it really just changes everything in your environment. It changes what you see, the things that you want, you start to gravitate towards it. So either it's like you want that next bonus, or you want to retain your team, yeah, the people on your team, or you want that next promotion. And when you shift that self talk to action based, to compassion with love, it really changes like what you start to experience. And helping my clients with this like also helps me add value to that self talk in my coaching program. So yeah, so that effective self talk is super important in making that shift. And like Danielle said earlier, those self affirmations also play a big part in that.
Thank you so much, Rosel. The
Oh,
baby is at least needing a bit of attention, but I will just throw the floor to Danielle to throw more light on how people can can prevent negative thought patterns. Because before you become afraid or worried, is the way you interpret those imaginations in your mind. So can you throw light on that a little bit? Rachel was doing that. Can you just throw a little bit of light on that? Thank you.
Yeah, amazing. Sorry, I had to internet issue,
it happens.
that happened. So, we do, I mean, like I said earlier, there are a lot of challenging, life is made up of challenging situations, and the better you start learning how to control your emotions using some of the strategies and techniques we just gave out, and the better it is for you, like even if you want to grow professionally, yeah, even in your life, you have to learn how to control that. Like we talk about the different techniques, and yeah, the different techniques of managing stress and worry. um, Regarding that, I would say in every situation you have to learn not always to focus your energy on the negative side of everything. Focus, you start looking for opportunities in every challenging situation. You need to look at the opportunities, and instead of and seeing positive, learn how to see positive and not taking everything so personal, or overthinking about certain situations, because things will always happen. People, let it be people. People will always want to make you, I mean, not only people, but things will always come up, whether you like it or not. So I mean, there's actually no thing you can do to stop the things to come up, but you have to learn how to manage those worries and let it not drain your energy. So my advice is to focus on the positive, like not always taking everything so serious. It, despite the challenges you're going through, or the difficult, the tough moment you're going through, try to look at the possibilities. Try to look at, focus on the positive. Not always like taking things so personal. It might be because of what someone have told you. It might be because you are afraid to be rejected or not being good enough for something, or it might be because of the so you have so many things on your plate and you don't know, or you've set up a plan and you're not able to meet up. So I would say, if when it comes to work, you have to learn how to those take some steps. Like, if you're worried because of the volume of work you have, learn how to, you have to set time aside for that. You have to do things like start on something. If you're feeling so overwhelmed, start doing something, and eventually you see how you're going through it successfully. And focus on the positive. Focus on the positive. You have to say out, like, self-affirmation. Learn how to say this self-affirmation to yourself. And those techniques, you did mention, Rosie, you did mention about cold shower. I noted it down, putting your bare foot on the ground, self-affirmation. Those are very, very powerful techniques. And I would say focus on the positive. Look at the possibilities. And don't really take things so serious. If you feel like you're breaking down, or you have to take time and reflect, and also ask you can always ask yourself some question. Does this thing really need me to worry about? Like, something happened to me, that was on Tuesday. No, that was on Thursday. I was supposed to share a post for one of my clients. On every Thursday, I do that at 9 o'clock. But I had, and that's one of my clients that has, I mean, he has been it's been a challenge to work with him because he does, like, when he says he wants to see this post at 9 o'clock, at that time he wants to see it up. And when I got to the office around 8, like 8:30, yeah, and I was supposed to do the posting myself. Getting to the office, there was no electricity shortage, and my laptop was charged, but the another issue was that there was no internet, and I knew that that client would be very angry if I tell him that I'm not going to post. I tried posting, but it was not going. It was like one of the toughest moments in my life. And I said to myself, 9 o'clock, it was 9:15, I've not posted. And the client kept calling. No, before he even called, I had sent a text to him and said, Sir, I'm sorry that I've been trying to post since 9 o'clock now, and your post is not going on. We're having some technical issues here. And he was like, what? He was so angry, like he's angry and not understanding. So I just took some moment. The moment I sent that post, I told him about it and I said, please, can we post it the following day? I was so stressed up. Even the fact that just thinking about telling him about what is going on, I was so stressed up. But immediately I did that. I left my phone and I just decided to take some quiet moment with myself to cool down. Because apart from that real problem, I was going through another issues. I had so many other issues that were bothering me. But I just decided that, you know what, I'm going to let go all these and only handle what I can. Actually, so I decided to go and meditate. And I said to myself, despite everything that is going on, I am still succeeding in my business. My client, I still satisfy my client and they are still happy. So I kept on saying that for about 30 minutes, repeating, looking at myself in the mirror, speaking out the word of God. And when I came back after basically an hour, I mean, I stood there for more than an hour. I decided just to calm down because the stress was so much on me. Like my whole body was being affected. And I told myself, I'm not going to let this drain me down or bring me down. So as after I did all this and I came back, and I noticed that the client, he sent another text to me saying, it's okay, it happens, and I just need to. Then the following day, I came back, I came to the office, and at that very time, I posted. So when things become to a point that we cannot control, we need to learn how to let go. Not always trying to force things out. We have to cool down and understand, like, know that we cannot do anything at that point. The only thing we can do is to control our emotions and take advantage, take authority over this situation, these emotions, and so those are some of the techniques. This is actually one of the situation handling, and you can imagine I have more clients like that one. So yeah, and we have the challenges will keep on coming up. From time to time, it might be the internet, it might be a client, it might be your neighbor or your friend or what. So there are so many. There are so many. Thank you so much.
I
Wow.
Yeah, I wanted to just like chime in on that a little bit. I think chime is the right word. Um, Danielle, I love that you talked about opportunity, like seeing the opportunity in the middle of the worries, in the midst of that stress. And I love your example because I can totally relate to that. I remember one time my phone and my laptop not working when I needed to post something, but it just won't go through. And then I realized it was my internet. I just needed to reset, and it can be stressful, but just
Yeah.
let it go. Like, okay, I'm not gonna be able to post at this time. Let's just like let that be. I can't control it, but what am I gonna do next? Like you mentioned, when you're feeling overwhelmed, just focus on what's that next action that you can take
Yeah.
in pivoting. And I was listening to Wendy Battle's podcast, Reinvention Rebels, this morning, and she mentioned something that really stuck with me and that really ties into our conversation here, and it's letting go to make room for what is possible along those lines. And like
Amazing.
when we're in those in that space of we're worrying a lot, if we just when we pause for a moment and let ourselves know, like, hey, this is an opportunity for me to grow, like this is happening for me, right? Because if we don't have worries, if we don't have stress, we just stay in the same place. We stay in the same place. So it's almost it's an activation of what is to come or what is possible, right?
Yeah.
And I find that, when we let ourselves, go through that process and learning ways to navigate through that, we actually opening more doors. We're making room for what more is to come, or who we need to be, and who we need to serve, because we have to be ready for that, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I totally agree with both of you. Wow, it's been an awesome 15 minutes with our leadership coach, Russell. Please, those in leadership, if you need to grow in whatever you are engaging in, I will encourage you. She has leadership training development. I think she will say a little bit about that. And also our business coach, Danielle, I just want you to use this opportunity to encourage those in the marketing field that needs marketing. I, for one, I need it for my book. And you have been doing something. You have been doing a lot behind the scene. I appreciate you, darling. Thank you all. And I'm really amazed with all the tips of managing. We can use a day to handle the whole dealing with worries. Worries is a normal day-to-day issue in life, but the issue is how to handle it. So these are just tips, and if we need more empowerment on that. These are coaches to empower you. I will send a link after this broadcast so that you can connect with them, those who need empowerment in leadership, because with that, there are different things you'll be handling with you guys. For business, people want to grow, because I don't most people are worried because they are not satisfied with the present state where
Yeah.
what they are doing, where they are. So we need to grow. We need to expand our muscles. So our business coach is here. She can take us into different strategic points in our business, especially now that many things are in the internet now. So we need those skills in order to expand and grow, so that some of our stress will be suppressed. So we can handle the whole topic. Usually our limit is an hour, except because of unforeseen circumstances that may arise, but we usually want to handle it for 1 hour. We can go even for part two of the session because it's a broad topic. We just took shallow things just to, but thank you all. It has been an empowering session. I, for one, have been blessed. I've been really blessed and empowered with the knowledge I had. It's so deep what you guys were saying. So if you want to engage into step by step, then you can contact any of us. And especially books. You mentioned we need to embark in knowledge. Knowledge is what we need. At the end of this broadcast, I will share the links under the comment box, so you can easily access those books. They are powerful books. I tell you, none of you will regret accessing those books. They are really, really powerful. Thank you all for joining. Let me, if I can share from the comments, I just have very few here. By Queen Leslie. Thank you for joining, Queen. He said, yes, we need to learn to let go. Wow, that's true. That's powerful, because that is what set us back. Before going into that, I just had something. We had a meeting before this session, because if you want to grow, you need to engage, connection, learn, and engage in different things. And one of the things we're talking today was about having a daily um, vision board, a daily task board, because that is what causes people to be stressed up and worried about unnecessary things, because if we don't organize our things, we don't schedule our plan our week, plan our months, plan quarterly or whatsoever, we become entangled with a lot of things and not doing anything. And that is where stress actually begin, worries actually begin, because of unfulfilled tasks. Whereas if we have like a task board that we know, by they always encourage every beginning of the year have a vision board that entails all vision you want to engage into. With that in place, it helps you assess now your weekly or quarterly tax board, which will help you organize things, which will resolve a lot of the worries and stress we engage in. I would say we are the cause of most of the things we are worried about. We ourselves put ourselves in that whole sheet. But when we learn to let go, learn to readapt, learn to modify and empower ourselves in many ways, we are going to grow stronger. Thank you all. That was just the little I wanted to add. I don't know if Coach Russell, it's quite early, it's 10 o'clock in Canada where she wake up with this empowerment series this morning. Thank you.
While you mentioned series, I'll take this opportunity actually to let any business leaders or corporate leaders that are listening right now. I have my next self leadership workshop happening next Saturday. If you connect with me on LinkedIn, I can share with you the link. And if you connect with me on Instagram, if you go to the link my in my bio, you can actually register now to take it to claim a seat right away. I am making it at no cost so that I can help reach more leaders and support them through my self leadership workshop, and also for leaders to see my way of coaching and that style and what is possible within that 90 minutes that we spend together. And I'm super fortunate Danielle was able to attend our last one. And I'm really looking forward to next week.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Coach Russell.
My pleasure, Marie. Thank you.
Yeah, Coach Daniel, can you say something to our audience, please, before I let you go?
Yes,
I know you are a
I would
business
like
coach,
to.
and our business entrepreneurs will be disturbing you a lot. So before I
Yes.
release you, just say something.
So yeah, so we have so many great entrepreneurs out there, or business owners, and or coaches. They have brilliant coaching programs or businesses, but the challenge has always been how to promote those services or connect with the right target audience, or or reach out to these people. So we or drive more sales, right? Via social media. Some of them lack the skills or techniques or expertise to do that, and we at the dreams we help them to build their brands and drive more sales. And if you are facing these challenges, you can just reach out to me. I'm very active on LinkedIn and on Facebook, so you can reach out to Daniel Asamanto. That's my name, and let's just have a chat and see how we can work things out. Thank you so much. Thank you, Coach Rasi. And I also like to thank you for your coaching program, which was very powerful for the beginning of the year. I learned some great tips of how to get things done on time, and it's been helping me. So, thank you so much. Thank you, Coach Marie, for transforming my life also positively. So it's been amazing. It's always a pleasure to be here with you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach Russell. Thank you, Coach Dania. It's been an
Thank
amazing
you.
session with you all this evening. I enjoyed every piece of it. I personally will go for a replay because a lot of stuff were being dished out here. And I, for one, I like to learn a lot. I like to carry research. And that's one reason I invite guests so that it's a learning process. I'm learning, and the audience are also learning. So it's an opportunity for me to learn, and also an opportunity for my audience to learn also. So thank you for accepting the invitation to be with us in Healing Storehouse today. It was really amazing session with you. I know it's a busy weekend, and I really appreciate this 1 hour with you all. Thank you. I don't know if our audience have something to say, but from the comment, I just saw absolutely amazing. Thank you all for joining. I can't call all the names now. It's going to take time, but we appreciate you all. We really do appreciate you for joining us today. And I if you enjoyed it, I will encourage you to share the broadcast so that some people will be blessed. Maybe some people need help in leadership, some people need help in their business expertise, some people need help as a transformational life coach. So you can contact any of us. But at the end of this, I share the link to our books. All of us are authors with amazing books. So knowledge is wealth. We need that knowledge to empower ourselves and empower others. Thank you once more for joining us. See you hopefully on Monday during our breakfast dance. And for those who have not ordered this transformational book, I wrote about dealing with worries. Dealing with worries is in chapter 5 of Healing Storehouse, dealing with worries. So you can get some tips, what I put there, how to engage and deal with worries. But a lot has been said here. Most of it, there were some repetitions here. So there are some additional things here. And it's all about learning. Thank you once more for joining us. It was a pleasure with you, Coach Russell. Let me liberate you to have your breakfast if you have not yet had it. Because I wake you up quite early.
It's all good. I get up at like 5 a.m. All good.
I don't know if you have a last word before we close the broadcast, babe.
Thank you.
Time
Thank
is
you
up.
for the space. Thank you, Marie.
Thank you. Thank you, Queen. Thank you. Thank you. Wow, thank you all for joining us today. It was an awesome broadcast, I believe so. If you enjoyed it, just type on the comment box. It was awesome, powerful. And I would like you to share with others so that they will be empowered also. It's all about empowering ourselves and empowering others. That's just the goal, empowerment. And thank you for joining us and have a wonderful and blessed weekend. Thank you once more. Stay tuned and stay blessed. Healing Storehouse sends you greetings this awesome weekend. Bye.